Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tim, and welcome to another episode of Tim Talks, the show that's only partially a show. Really, it's only an excuse for me to talk to some of my very talented friends. And speaking of talented friends, I have another one here today with me. His name is Caleb Denecour. He works over at Achievement Hunter. Say hello, Caleb.
Howdy.
How you doing today?
Doing pretty good, just...
Good. Now that we're here in take two. Great. Fantastic. So... Now that we're back in here, we were talking earlier about you have a cast on your leg. I noticed earlier on Twitter or on Facebook, I saw some wedding pictures, and what happened?
So about a month ago, it was early March, I flew out to California to play in an ultimate frisbee tournament with my little brother's college, just to kind of be nice since they're newer program and could use the help. So I flew out there to play in the tournament in San Jose, and it was their first tournament flying, so it was a really big deal for them. And we got there, and in the third game, we were playing against San Jose State University Megabyte. These guys right here, the team I coached last year. Yeah. So plug for them. And so the team I used to coach, I was playing in their tournament against them for my little brother's college. So obviously I shouldn't have been there anyway.
Of course. And, well, I mean, that's what happens. You bring in a ringer sometimes, man.
Yeah. And basically, in football terms, I was a safety in a zone defense. If people understand that. I don't know if anyone knows Ultimate Speak.
A bunch of nerds, but eventually they'll figure it out. They have Google. They have Google.
They can Google. And they threw it. So they threw it as far as they could, basically, to their end zone to try to catch and score. And I went up to D it, and I went up, D'd the disc, and I was told it looked pretty. So I mean, I'm okay with this injury. They said it looked good.
Of course, as long as it looks good.
Yeah, right. No one got it on camera though. Come on. And when I was in the air, one of the players, he kind of like clipped my leg. Totally incidental. And
of course.
When I landed on the top of my foot. So not my left foot on top of my right foot, but like if this is my foot, I landed upside down on it.
Oh.
So it's just like, it was just that momentum, like running full sprint, coming from like, my vertical is like 3 feet. And then landing like that much, so 2 fractions, 2 torn ligaments.
And I'm one of those sympathetic pain people too, so my foot's tingling. Oh,
yeah, it
God.
Was, the easiest way, like if you want to get a visual for that, watch the Louisville Kevin Ware injury from the NCAA tournament.
Oh, God.
Obviously, injury is totally different, but the way he ran across the court and jumped and like leapt and then landed, it was kind of like that motion. Like that was the motion I was going through.
Right.
When I got hurt, and I just look at it now. Vicious. I'm like, I was lucky.
But did you have the full compound fracture? I hope not.
No, just two hairline fractures in my foot, as well as 2 torn ligaments, bone marrow contusions. I don't know. There's a whole list. I stopped him. I was like, look, how long?
It broke. It's broke. It's broke. It's broke. Just fix it.
Just give me the numbers. Like when am I out of the cast?
Yeah.
So,
speaking of, when are you out of the cast?
It'll be next Tuesday, so the 23rd. So I'm pretty excited.
Awesome.
So
and it looks
that's
pretty
around the corner.
It looks pretty gnarly. If I remember the pictures, you're gonna keep it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna keep it because it's gonna smell, but I can show it.
Oh, right. Yes, the smell.
The tuxedo cast.
Oh gosh.
As designed by my older brother Micah. He went out and designed it. And by went out, I mean we were literally waiting for the wedding, and we were sitting in the living room bored because everyone had already left because they're part of the wedding party. So we're just sitting there like, so
just watching the clock, waiting time to pass.
We decided to paint my cast.
Nice.
It was
nice.
Fun. Good hit. Big hit at the wedding.
I was about to say it was probably a massive hit. Very, very classy. Classy, I think, is a good term. So now that elephant's out of the room, we can move on to the actual meat of the discussion. So what are you playing right now?
Right now, it's probably Battle Block Theater, the new Behemoth game.
I'd imagine with you laid up and stuff, you have a lot of chance to just blaze through those kind of things.
Blaze through... Yeah, basically, I have nothing else to do with my life. It's terrible. Like, I'm stuck at home all the time. But, no, I've been playing Battle Block Theater. It's super fun. I actually beat the game today, the solo campaign. It's super, super fun. It's like a little puzzle. Like, I don't know how to describe the game. But
and that was by the people that made Castle Crashers. What was it? Yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just... I don't know. It's really, really fun. Definitely check it out if you can. Obviously, you can get the demo for it, but the music is just really enjoyable. I could listen to that music for hours. Just a funny plot.
I'm so glad of the resurgence of games that take music seriously, because that's something that's been missing for just a long time. I mean, when was the last time you had a theme song stuck in your head?
Halo 1.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a long time ago. We
can't count all the Halos that rehash the same Halo 1 music.
Yeah, no, you can't. You absolutely can't, because that's exactly what it is, a rehash. I mean, take the Call of Duty Battlefield music, for example. There was that video of that. Did you see that?
No, I don't even know what their music is.
I don't either, but it was a clip of like Battlefield 1943 where it had the music from that, and then they kind of remix it a little bit for the modern versions of Battlefield, and then they do like an ultra dub remix that's just basically like for Battlefield 3 and then Battlefield 4.
The other game I can think of that actually got stuck in my head was the Gears of War, but not from their game, but just from their trailer, the Donnie Darko song.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I mean, I don't really think of anything that's really stuck in my head for a long time.
So good. I'm very glad for that resurgence of it, and it's good to hear.
But BattleBlock Theater nailed it. That's for sure. That was
Will we see any videos for that?
Maybe.
Awesome. Speaking of videos, you work over at Achievement Hunter, so let's transition on over to that. What, in one sentence, give me the Reader's Digest version of your job.
I am the community manager of Achievement Hunter. That's probably the one sentence. I mean, that'll work.
Fair enough. And now expand that. Give me the non-Reader's Digest version.
So basically, my job tailors to anything community oriented, and that can be whatever I see fit. Right now, it kind of caters to the Community Hunter channel, Community Vids on YouTube. So separate from our Rooster Teeth and our new Let's Play channel, which you guys should all totally subscribe to.
Oh yeah, youtube.com/Let's
Play.
How the hell did you get that domain? That is
We've
awesome.
had it for years.
Really?
Jeff is a very, I don't think people understand how smart Jeff is as a businessman. Like, he seems like he's just totally like, I'm going to lay back, drink some alcohol, and be funny.
But no,
he's a very, very, very bright guy and very smart with business. And he just knew. He knew a few years back. He's like, this is going to be a thing.
That's fantastic. Yeah, no, youtube.com/Let's Play. Y'all go check that crap out because they're fantastic. Really, they are fantastic. Yeah. And so you also do the community play dates and game nights and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm. So that's another aspect of my job. This is probably my favorite aspect of my job is that once a week or more, we kind of get together with community people and be like, hey, we're playing this game this time. Send a message to my gamertag, and we're going to try to get you in some games. And it's just fun. You can change up the games. We do, obviously, game night once a month is Halo. And then
you also do stream it as well. We do. You stream Twitch TV, one of those
Twitch.tv/Achievement is what we do. But that could be switching. We don't know. Who knows? It can vary sometimes. But
websites go down, websites go up.
Mostly on Twitch.
Of course. Yeah. And so with the Community Hunter videos then, so what's the submission process for that like? I've been curious about that for a while.
So for them, obviously, it's just you have to submit the video to ahuploads.com. And just basically you have to edit the video and submit it. It's a pretty simple process. The process that takes longer is behind the scenes, where I actually go through and watch every submitted video, and then I have to either approve or deny it. And if I'm going to approve it, I have to then upload it to YouTube, and then on YouTube do some button clicking. Yeah. But, I mean, the turnaround for that is probably about a month at this point. It's going to vary. Hopefully I'll get the queue, which is at about 650 videos right now. Right. Hopefully I'll get it back down to a manageable, daily, get through the videos and done sometime in the next couple of months.
That is a giant pile. I imagine the pile that Hermes sorts through in Futurama, if you've seen that. That's just what I pictured the Achievement Hunter, Community Hunter video boxes like.
Yeah, it's a lot of content, but it's really cool. I don't know. It's one of my favorite things about the idea of Achievement Hunter and what you can do is people enjoy a lot of different things, right? Everyone has a thing that they like, but how often can they be involved in something that they're a fan of, right? Like, you can be a fan of X movie star, be a huge fan of them, but what can you really do that interacts with them?
That's a fair point.
It's very limited, where even other YouTubers, stuff like that, it's not the most interactive thing. And I feel like the community for Achievement Hunter is really good in the sense that we have community events, we have a channel where you can submit your own content, and I love that about Achievement Hunter.
It's not just you that does the game nights. I mean, you end up bringing in most of the crew sometimes.
Yeah, Fragger comes to almost all of them, mostly because he's much better at streaming than I am. I am awful at streaming. My connection doesn't help, but at the same time, I just can't focus on streaming and inviting and chat. He's much better geared for that. So Fragger's really helpful with that aspect of it. And then sometimes, Jeff, Gav, all those guys, they'll come in every once in a while. Right.
And I mean, that's just got to be a blast to get to sit there and interact with the community on an actual person-to-person basis, and not just, oh, well, you happen to submit something, and now I know your name.
Yeah, and that's the thing, too. It's it's nice. I respond to all the emails we get. I do all of that. I do a lot of behind the scene things that you would only know if you submit things and you're like really, really wanting to get a response.
James was talking 2 weeks ago about his Minecraft video. That was a song that he's anxious for everyone to see that. And I got to tell you, I saw an early cut. It's fantastic. So I'm looking forward to that too.
I am too then.
But what?
Oh, I was just saying, like, I don't know. It's like, there's obviously those, which it's like, it's personal. But what I like more, though, is like, obviously the community events because you get to play one-on-one. But also even just like outside of work, like I love to just dive into community things. Like recently I've been really active in the Tumblr community. And I know, surprise. We have a Tumblr community.
What is that?
So I have a Tumblr now. And I use Tumblr, and I post things exclusively to Tumblr to interact with the Tumblr community. But I also do things like they have tiny chats that I go into sometimes to talk. They have actually I just got PC Minecraft last night for a potential upcoming Achievement Hunter thing. No spoilers. And I need to get more situated with it. So I knew that the people in Tiny Chat, they actually have a Minecraft server they play on.
Of course.
It's a rage happy one. It's some of the shippers. So
fantastic. Those are always great.
I've been playing in that yesterday and today. I've spent some time in there playing in their Minecraft server, and I don't know. It's just an awesome.
Just doing research and stuff.
Yeah, but it's an awesome inclusive community where it's like, it's really easy for any of us at Achievement Hunter to get connected with anyone in the community and be like, hey, let's do this at some point. Let's do that, and it's just really easy to jump in
and you have all the user submitted mats for the Let's Plays and stuff. Axial Matt, who just does left, right, and center.
That guy's fantastic at making maps. It's stupid how good he is at it.
And so I bet doing those Let's Plays is just awesome.
Oh yeah, the Let's Plays are just always an adventure. Mostly obviously because of Gavin and his burning everything. That's like, I feel so bad. Like I think every time we did a community map, he tried to burn it down. I'm like, Gavin, you're horrible. These people put all these hours into this, and you're just like burning it in front of their faces.
But that's what they want. They want to be abused by you guys. And if that means burning their valuable creation to the ground, then you know what? That's what needs to happen.
Yeah, I think in the it was the Griffball one made by Axial Matt. We played Griffball against each other. Gavin did something, and Axial Matt just ran over with the sword and just hit him and just walked away. And it was just amazing. It's just because he couldn't communicate. So when we do those, I'm the one that communicates with them. So like I'm in a headset and they can hear me and they can hear the background of everyone else in the office, but no one else has their headsets up because they're focused on what they're doing, and I'm kind of the mediator there. And it's so funny because like it's just like the interesting banter that you'll hear between like the community person, like, God damn it, Gavin, and like
and of course you get to be the kind of center of all of it because no one gets to hear the whole conversation but you.
Yeah, I know everything.
That's awesome.
But it's just a blast.
God, to be a fly on the wall during all that crap. And so then you were also involved in their show, The Gauntlet.
I was.
Expanding more outside of the office work.
Yeah, so that was really interesting. I got the call for that, or the email, I guess, and like, hey, we need somebody from Achievement Hunter to be in the Gauntlet, and they're like, you have professional gaming experience, you have coaching experience, we think you'd be a good fit for this. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So that was fun. That was probably one of my favorite projects I've worked on, in the sense that it was 5 days. That was it. The entire production was 5 days.
Wow.
But it was like 5 12-hour days. Like I had to get up. It was shot down in San Marcos at a theater down there. And that's about a half-hour drive. It's actually where I coach currently, the Texas State Women's Ultimate Team. And so I had to drive down there every morning at like 5 a.m. and just be there until like 5 o'clock at night. So it was really, really long days. But it was really cool because you spent those 5 days with these contestants. You know, there were, was it 19 to start? Man, I can't even do math. I think it was 19 to start. Yeah, because the first day I threw it home. Yeah, 19 to start. And, like, you really develop these relationships with them. And even then, like, another sub-community now is that, like, all those Gauntlet, everyone that participated in the Gauntlet is still close friends. They still hang out.
Oh, that's cool.
One of them, I don't know if you remember, let's see, who was it? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking. That's horrible. Don't hate me.
Don't worry, we'll give him a big old picture underneath right now.
I just couldn't remember. Man, I forgot. Oh yeah, we do call her Jess. I couldn't remember. Like I was like, is it Jess? I can't remember. I know we abbreviated. I'm sorry, Jess. I was like, I know it's Jessica, but I couldn't remember if it was Jessie or Jess. I was like, so it was Jess who was dating Alex. So they were both on the blue team.
Right.
We celebrated her birthday. Actually, everyone in the Gauntlet got together at a Chili's, I think, in Austin, of all places.
Yeah,
but that's
yeah,
because
really.
it was just easy. But there was like 20 of us, and Kara came out, and like it was just really fun.
Huh.
Like it's really cool to see that like that 5-day shoot. It's like you still have all these connections. I still I had
Yeah.
GB330033 on the site. Grady, who runs SideQuest for RTX, he hosted a LAN
exactly what you're
party,
talking
and I invited the green team to come from the Gauntlet, so my team that I coached, to come hang out, and they came. We had a few beers, played some LAN Halo. Like it's really cool to see how like you can make those connections, and that was like the coolest part of the shoot is that like
And then when you see him again this summer, I mean, it's gonna be like going back to camp.
yeah. So it's really cool to see how like it was a lot more than just a production. A lot of friendships were
Yeah.
made and a lot of connections were made, and it's really cool to see how like that happened.
That's awesome. It seemed very first season of Real Worldy, how it was very true, before it became big and all about the show.
Yeah, no, it was. There are some moments like just you could tell like, just day-to-day stuff. Like there were issues with like, oh wait, can we actually do that in this game? And like last minute switches to rules before like we told them what we were doing, because like we were double checking. We're like, wait, we can't actually do that in Left 4 Dead. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Or even then, I think it was Left 4 Dead 2. Like we did that for one of the episodes. That was literally added to the list like an hour before. Like we weren't not even planning. We actually had something else planned, so we weren't even planning on using that. And yeah,
Neat.
and
Production
it worked out really
secrets.
well. Yeah, but it
Awesome.
was a great experience. Tons of fun.
I'll freaking bet. So do you get to work behind the scenes on other things? The podcast, the new shows, anything like that?
Not really. I stick mostly to community-oriented stuff. I mean, that's so time-consuming
enough.
on its own that like there's only so much time to stray, and unfortunately, I don't have all that much time for other projects.
Right,
Community first.
right. And so, speaking of the other projects that you do have time for, I want to talk about your YouTube channel that you have with your brother.
Oh, yeah, Bro Gaming.
Yeah.
So that started, I don't actually have no idea when, maybe last fall? I'm so smart about dates. And basically, my family's really close. All my siblings, my cousins, aunts, uncles, we're all really, really close. And they all live in the state of California, except for my dad's brother and me. My dad's brother, and they live in Arizona. My dad's brother lives in Arizona, so they're still close. He's like a couple hours from my grandparents. And then there's me in Austin. So I'm kind of far out there. I don't get to see him as much anymore.
You're the outlier, as it were.
Yeah. And so for Jordan and I, who grew up hating each other and despising each other and fighting, we kind of finally started to get close, because when he first went to college, he started playing Ultimate finally. So we had that in common. We both play Ultimate. And he started watching like Achievement Hunter, and like he's like, oh yeah, you're involved with Achievement Hunter. It's like, yeah, I am involved with Achievement Hunter, Jordan. Good connection. Proud of you, brother. It was he one day just told me, he's like, hey, let's make videos together. I was like, that'll be fun. So it's a really neat thing for us to do, to kind of stay connected, I guess, like to give us something to do long distance, stay close. And
that's always nice.
Yeah.
It's good to see video games bringing people together, and for y'all to be able to display that to everyone is fantastic.
Yeah, and it's fun too. I think we have a really good dynamic in us being brothers, as well as just our family in general. We're really, really silly and ridiculous, and it's just so much fun. Like I just like playing against my brother, and even like coming out. Like obviously we play video games together, and we have the series The Minecraft Life, where we just essentially do Minecrafty things. And then
I happened to check that out a couple minutes right before we started this thing. I didn't realize you had a second YouTube channel.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. So do you do more edited style together videos, or do you do long form Let's Plays where it's just all one stream? Or
so it's all long form. So usually we'll play for a half hour, an hour, and then it'll become 1 or 2 parts for most of our content on there. We'll occasionally do like shorter things, but it's pretty rare. And recently we did our first vlog. He came out to visit a couple weeks back, so we decided to vlog it. So we recorded video throughout our trip, and this is the first project he edited, since he could edit it since he was here. So because I have to do all the editing, he doesn't do any of that.
And so you just give him a chance to take the reins and see what that's like.
Just have fun. And it turned out really funny. I really like the vlog. People seem to like it. And it's just...
Yeah.
But I think the coolest part about it, though, is I've already gone back. And I remember flying out to the wedding. I ended up on the same flight as my sister's maid of honor. And she's a longtime family friend. She's like a sister to me. And we were sitting on the flight, and we rewatched all of them, even the ones I haven't put out yet. And it was funny, because it was like, oh, I totally forgot about that. And it's so cool to like...
Now... Now tell everyone what the name of it is.
The vlog or the channel?
Yeah.
The channel's Bro Gaming.
The vlog.
The vlog is, I think, isn't it Jordan Visits Caleb, right? No?
Yep. No, it's Brolog.
Oh yeah, I forgot that I named the Prolog.
Brolog.
I forgot about that.
Starting out the series with a pun. Clap, clap, clap.
Brolog.
I love it. No, that's fantastic. I mean, you got to have some sort of catchy, pithy name. I mean, this is Tim Talks. My things where I play games are called Tim Tries. I mean, you know, eventually you get Tim Teaches. You have to develop some sort of motif, or else people aren't going to remember what's going on.
Yeah, so no, it's definitely a wonderful thing. And we actually incorporated my sister, too, in a couple of the videos. She played Fusion Frenzy 1 with us, because that's a game we used to grow up together playing. It was the only game she liked as a kid. So, like, it was really fun to get her involved, too, and she...
Just games for the whole family.
Yeah, it's a blast. Like, I don't know.
Neat.
It's just a fun family thing. It's great that, obviously, other people enjoy watching it, but it's definitely something we make more for each other and to stay close than really to gain views. And
so how is having worked at Achievement Hunter for so long, I would imagine that it's fairly easy to make the transition to making your own stuff.
Yeah, it's nice because you have the experience. You know, kind of like the idea of like how to start. Because you look at a lot of people's early videos, like they're not necessarily super professional or well done.
Right.
Even my first videos, obviously they're slowly getting better, and I have a lot to learn.
Right.
But like I had that jump start where it's like I know what videos should look like. I know what this is gonna take. I also have professional grade equipment because of work. So it's like it's really nice to have kind of all those bonuses to start with.
I'll bet.
Yeah, so that's kind of where the work experience comes in the most.
Shoot, I ended up just watching pretty much every YouTube video of every valid commentator I can get my hands on for the last 6 months, and basically figuring out things that work and things that people respond to, because it tends to be what works, you know, a format like this where we get to talk to each other side by side and put it in front of a background that looks good. Frame it up so that you don't have nasty edges going around the entirety of the screen. I mean, it's little touches that make all the difference. No,
absolutely. And the other thing too is that there's a lot of trial and error, because like for instance, some videos you put up, it can be like made by the same company. We have this with Achievement Hunter. Certain videos go up for certain video games, and it's like nobody watches them, and it can be a great video, but because it's that video game, nobody watches them. And it's a bummer, because you can put out great content with certain things, and it just doesn't work because it's not what people are interested in.
And then you put out a dumb video about an endless circuit in Minecraft, and it gets 10 million views.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, too. It's like the whole Minecraft Let's Play series was a total accident.
Yeah.
Total accident.
People love Minecraft.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to be fair, I too enjoy playing in a sandbox. But, you know, I need a little bit more from a game than that, quite frankly. So I would rather play stuff that actually has a story and gives me a little bit more response and has an end. An end. For Christ's sakes, a good, concise ending would be great. Oh. Now, I know that there's the Elder Dragon in the PC version that you go and fight and yada, 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 yada. But you know what? It's not the same.
No, I totally agree it's not. But that's also why I like Minecraft so much, is that my favorite thing to do in Minecraft, and people are going to think I'm insane, I love to mine. I could sit for hours with a pickaxe and just dig holes, and I'm the happiest person in the world.
It's mindless stuff. Your brain can sit there and work on other things. You can have a great conversation with people over the party system, or you know, over Skype, whatever you end up wanting to do, and just mindless digging.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love it. It's I love Minecraft.
I ended up digging a crescent-shaped crevasse that in one side of the crescent was like a tomb that opened up on the inside and had a bunch of traps in there, and I too fell victim to the Minecraft until I figured out exactly that I needed to move on. I needed to move on
until
badly.
You realized it was 3 weeks later and you hadn't left your seat.
Yeah.
So
I guess that might be more so why I have an aversion to it than anything else. Addictive personality, that sort of thing. So, what I know we talked about this with Dylon. What you guys walk a line of having an outward persona and then just being yourselves, because you can't just be yourself, because that can be boring sometimes. But you can't fake it either, because people can tell.
Yeah. So that's where it gets interesting. So it's a little different for me because my persona was thrown on me rather than something I did, or I guess I kind of did. Because obviously my persona within the Achievement Hunter community
allegedly,
yeah, allegedly, yes. And like, so my persona with Achievement Hunter is that like I'm a cheater, and like people legitimately. That's the thing though, is that because it's my persona and people don't know me, people legitimately think like I'm a cheater, and that like what else is that? A screen peeker. Who cares anyway?
Yeah. You know what? Look, sometimes people just object to having alternate tactics.
Yeah.
I think is what I'm going to go with here. Alternate tactics.
Yeah. So like it's funny because it's like, so I guess that's my persona now for the Achievement Hunter. For people who don't know me, is that I'm basically a complete douchebag, and it's really interesting. So it's like it's something that needs, I guess. So now in videos, it's something that I have to do in the future. It's like I can't just come on and be myself because it's like they're gonna be like, who is this person?
It's sad you get locked into that at some point.
So from now on, basically, if I'm in any video, I have to be up to some shenanigan. I have to do something that bends the rules. Like it's now
like Gavin has to burn down everything.
Yeah.
You have to be up to some shenanigans.
Yeah. Gavin has to burn things down. I have to cheat.
Yep. Ray has to have roses.
Yeah.
I mean, you end up getting kind of pigeonholed a little bit.
Yeah.
In the best possible way for most of you.
Everyone but Caleb.
Right.
But like, and it's it's fine though. Like I don't mind. Like everyone thinks like it's
somebody has to be the lightning rod, and it's a rotating thing. It was Jack for a long time, and then it was Ryan when he first came into the office, and now it's you. I mean, it's a rotating thing.
Yeah, and it's fine, and it's just funny because I love reading comments on YouTube like, God, Caleb's such a terrible person. Caleb's this, Caleb's that, and I just like sit there and giggle to myself because like, if you actually like, go and meet, like if you met everyone in the office, I'm probably the friendliest when it comes to it because I'm a lot more open than a lot of the other guys. Like obviously everyone's really nice and friendly, but I'm in general I'm a very outgoing person.
Well, to be fair, you're also one of the few people that still does some sort of team competitive sport.
Yeah.
And is also involved in other things outside of the office. And so once you kind of get to the point where all you do is sit behind a computer screen and talk, well, to yourself, to everyone else, you sort of become a little bit more averse to friendliness, to the random people in the world.
Yeah, and it's fun. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's not saying anything bad. That's just you build the habit of being in your bubble and...
Although my favorite personality versus internet personality versus regular personality though, like the favorite change is probably Michael.
Right.
Because obviously Michael's Mr. Rage Quit.
Of course.
We love to call him in the office every time.
Always yelling, always screaming, yeah.
Michael, when I first met Michael, it was before he actually worked with Achievement Hunter. He came out to the first RTX, so this is actually about when I first got hired. And a little bit before he started working there.
2011.
Was it 2000? Yeah, 2 years ago. Yeah, because I'm coming up on 2 years of Achievement Hunter.
Yep.
That makes sense. And I remember meeting him, and like he was really shy and reserved, and like it was so funny because like I expected Rage Quit, and he was just super quiet. And then that was just initial meeting because he was just kind of shy at first.
Of course.
But then from that point on, like Michael is just like one of the nicest guys. Just nice.
You know that a performance is a performance is a performance. Yes. He is probably very angry at times and can have that personality, but it's a show. It's fun. You yell at things that make you angry more so than you would normally because it's fun to just have that catharsis of, this is the worst piece of shit I've ever had the displeasure to put my hands around. That's fun. It's probably the most fun for Michael, of all people. I mean, of all the people who get the enjoyment out of the Rage Quit videos, other than the pain in the throat, Michael probably enjoys it the most.
Yeah, so it's I don't know, it's interesting to find your niche, and like you have to figure out what it is. Like, so obviously cheater in Achievement Hunter world, the bro gaming world, I'm definitely the straight guy. I'm the one that keeps us focused because if Jordan was in charge, we would literally get nothing done ever. Because he's the silly one. He's the one that makes the jokes. And granted, my little brother's, he's very funny. And like I have to give him credit for that. He's a very funny guy.
What's the age discrepancy between you two?
5 years. So he's 19.
Okay, so he is quite your younger.
Yeah. So he's the one that gets up to the shenanigans. And like I remember in one of our episodes of Minecraft Life, he was tasked with going and mining. And like I was like, Jordan, just go mine. And like I'm gonna finish building my house. And like he goes. And he's like, so like halfway through this episode, he's like, hey, I found a sign. Like the one in another video, because in our Netherquest video, we ended up building a house at a spot because there was just a natural cross in the ground. Right. So that's where we built our house. Because,
okay, yeah.
Jesus
X
blessed
marks
that
the
ground.
spot. Yeah, of
Something
course,
like
yeah,
that.
sure.
And so basically, he's like, I was like, whatever, I'll look at it later. And like he keeps bringing it up like every 5 minutes in the video. And finally, at the end of the video, I walk all the way over to where he wants to. He goes like, come on, come check it out. I'm like, fine, I'll go look. He's like, stand on this rock, stand on this piece of cobblestone and jump so you can see it. I was like, fine. So I get on it, I start jumping, and it just spells out slut in cobblestone.
Oh, fantastic.
He spent like 15, 20 minutes setting that up.
Just trolled you hard.
I just walked away. I just looked at it side and just walked away.
That's what family's for, man. That's what families are for, and if it wasn't, they wouldn't be here.
Yeah, and I don't know, that's why it's like it's fun. So like I said though, like, in that realm, I'm definitely the straight guy. My job is to get things done, and then his job is to be the funny guy. So he has to constantly be entertaining. He's not allowed to have not have fun. As cool as that sounds. Always have fun, so, Jordan.
What else do you want to do with your channel? I mean, do you just want to keep doing Let's Play type stuff, or would you like to do other shows, live action type stuff? Or?
So like Jordan always talks to me about wanting to do live action. But the issue, obviously, is we don't live near each other, so it's really hard to do. Right. The vlog was kind of an experiment to see what people thought of us just doing our normal shenanigans. Because, like, as ridiculous as we are in these videos in the Brolog, we're that ridiculous, if not more ridiculous off camera. Like,
right.
I wish I had a camera rolling on us all the time, because there are so many things that you miss. Because I don't know what goes on in that kid's head, but it's something special, I think. Or insane. One of the two.
Look, genius and madness are often just incredibly close together. You can never tell the difference. Yeah, you can never tell the difference.
Yeah, so it's one of those things that I think when we get an opportunity to, we'll try to do like live action stuff. It'll be like low quality, like totally stupid, ridiculous. I think it's something we'd want to do, because that's kind of more of our style than like doing a nice production. It's like, no, let's just be two brothers
like a scripted scene
videos, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's the whole idea of it, is that we're brothers and we're doing. And I think if we're doing live action stuff, that lower quality is good. Like when he edited the videos, every single video is introed with the Star Wars scroll, and it's every single one. And like he literally like transitions for videos. He just clicks and drags random transitions in. Like it is one of the worst edited videos I've ever put on YouTube, like ever just seen. I'm like, why is this? Why am I letting this happen? This is so bad. But because it's like we're two brothers being stupid, it's like it kind of like fits the atmosphere. It's like we don't really care. We're not here to make we're not here to be Freddie Wong and make just gorgeous videos. That are, granted, his videos are fantastic, and
you're just pissing around.
Yeah,
but and eventually you kind of find a rhythm, and then your audience finds you, and so I get that.
We're trying not to be, we're not trying to be more than what we are. It's two brothers dicking around.
Yeah,
and sometimes more siblings, occasionally.
Have you drawn inspiration from any YouTubers? Some of your favorite other people outside of Achievement Hunter?
I don't watch YouTube very much.
That's completely fair. That is absolutely completely fair.
I mean, the idea of our Let's Plays like obviously came from like just the enjoyment that I had and like everyone has making the Let's Play videos for Minecraft. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the reason why we decided to do Let's Plays, is that Jordan really liked that idea, and then I was like, well, I have fun doing it with work. Why not do it with my brother? So that's kind of stemmed that. So it's got
to be at least half as fun.
Yeah, and so that's really enjoyable. But then like the vlog, the video log, actually probably would be inspired by Mega64, if anyone. And granted, I don't watch any other stuff, but like at Comic-Con and stuff, I mean, you guys are great. If you're watching this Mega64, I love you guys. Watch all your stuff.
Yeah, they are. I got the opportunity to meet them last summer. They're great guys.
They're fantastic. And so we hang out at Comic-Con and PAX and all these other events, because I've been traveling for years with Rooster Teeth conventions. So like, and they'd always be recording stuff and being silly and zany. So I was like, that looks like fun. So
yeah,
let's do it.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's completely fair. That's the kind of the problem with having to constantly output all the time. It not only do you not have time to consume, but it's a completely different gear in your brain. I mean, you really have to do a complete shift when you go from consuming to making. I mean, you sit here and watch YouTube videos all day, and then to have to try and regurgitate something original, it could be a little bit difficult, and vice versa. Having put out all your own stuff all day, it's hard to sit there and try and listen to someone else blather on when you're like, oh, I could have made that 10 times better.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just, yeah, no, it's tough. Especially, like, one thing I struggle with, too, is, like, I'll have a really good idea, and then I have to decide, like, wait, should I bring this idea to Jeff for work? Or should I bring this to Jordan? So it's like, it's that awkward balance. But I mean, for the most part, my most brilliant ideas, like anytime I have like a really good idea, it goes to work first, because obviously it's that awkward thing. It's like, if I'm going to be creating ideas and doing something similar with my own YouTube channel, my personal channel, I think my idea should first go to work, and I think that's kind of important to remember. And like,
to be fair, they do give you the bigger paycheck.
They do.
There is that.
I lose money on bro gaming.
Yeah,
if anything.
I mean. Which that's fine. You have to take that sort of loss until it becomes its own thing. I mean, you have to spend money to make money. I mean, people nowadays who are trying to start YouTube channels, take it from somebody who's trying to start his own thing. It's freaking hard. And so, I mean, you are really lucky to be able to have that sort of backing, because that's amazing.
I know. It makes it so much easier to have, obviously, like my capture card I have for work, like all that stuff, like it makes it so much easier to have like all these toys. I mean,
but
well,
ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break. I'll be back in just a moment. It'll be a moment for you, a couple minutes for us. Thank you very much. We'll be right back. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. So we were discussing stuff, and I wanted to talk about your transition from going from a normal human being to now working with Rooster Teeth, because that had to have been just an insane switch.
I would have to say the biggest change in moving to Austin was the amount of sweat I produced.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just in the heat. Where are you originally from?
So I was born in San Francisco area of California, and I lived there for about 6 years before I moved.
Oh, then you were used to the heat. Oh, 6 years before you moved where?
I was 6 years, so like 6 years there, and like not used to heat. You get up to like 85 there. 85, you're like boiling hot, nobody goes outside. When I was 6, I moved to essentially Milan, Italy, and then my mom worked for Hewlett Packard back then, and for some reason it took us to Italy.
Huh.
So that was a little different, British school.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome. And then where? And then where?
Okay. So after that, when I was 9, I moved to Colorado. I was just south of Denver. I lived there until I would graduate high school. So I was there for a good 10 years. So that's cold weather. Then I moved back Then I moved back to Redwood City, and I went to school for a little bit out there. That was 2006. I was there for about 3 or 4 years, and then I moved to Boulder, Colorado. Then I moved to Boulder, Colorado, so back to Colorado. And then I moved back to Redwood City for a year. And then I moved to Austin.
That is 7 moves in the course of your lifetime.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
It's a lot. A lot of back and forth, too.
The longest of which being around 10 years in Colorado. That's freaking nuts. And I guess that would explain why you don't have any sort of real accent or anything, and you don't have... I mean, you probably couldn't have made very many real lasting friends.
Ouch.
Not to say you couldn't. No, not to say you couldn't. But I mean, it's kind of hard to keep those kind of without the internet, because you didn't have it back then. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I look at it. So my first girlfriend was Laura Hernandez. It was kindergarten. I was 5 when we first started dating.
Aww.
Dating. I know, it was adorable. We did the same.
Did you move your mats together at nap time?
More than that too. Like we used to play house. Calm down. Whoa. But we used to play house together, like with all the kids in the class, and we'd always be the mom and dad, and we'd pretend we were the Pink and Green Ranger so we could kiss. Because it's okay to kiss because they do it on the TV show.
Because the red and the pink one never freaking did. Yeah. So that was a smart move. The smart move is to be the Green Ranger.
It was all about being the Green Ranger. It was all about being Tommy. So then, but what was cool, so this is obviously pre-internet times at this point. This is early 90s.
It's cool to be Tommy back then. Today, it's still not cool to be Tommy because he's still Tommy.
Yeah. And
anyway, sorry, go on.
And then, but then when I moved to Italy, she actually sent me cards on Valentine's Day for the next 3 years. So it's possible back in the day.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I still have those cards too.
I rescind my question. Then did you? Then it was fun to keep those kind of relationships overseas and stuff.
No, it wasn't very fun. But like the internet.
Wow. Okay. Go on.
No. So then I think the next after that is I was really close to this girl Alicia when I lived in Italy, and we lost connection though. She moved right before I moved back to the States. She moved back to Scotland where she was from, and I went to a British school in Italy, so that's why I know Scottish people. You okay over there?
I nearly killed myself.
I didn't realize my story was that bad.
Woo! No. Went down the wrong pipe.
But
turns out human body is not built for breathing water. Anyway, go on.
So there's this girl Alicia, and we were really close, really good friends, and we actually lost connection for a couple of years. And then in 2005, when I got Facebook, I was able to reconnect with her via that, and like we still talk regularly. So it is one of those things though. It's hard to have like, I mean, my longest time like real like friend who I still stay in contact with is probably my friends Matt and Andy Napo. Actually, who Matt and his parents were actually at my sister's wedding last weekend. So like, it's cool. Like we're still in touch. But that was 4th grade was when I met them. So that's probably the longest friendship I have going on. Are those two brothers?
And so now all your friends just sort of live around you in the office every damn day.
Those aren't my friends.
Isn't that great? Oh,
I'm kidding, of course. Yeah. No. Like...
Fair enough. You got to kill me a second time. God.
Actually, no.
Tell us how you really feel.
No, it's like there's one of those things like obviously nowadays like friends are everywhere, especially like through I've been part of the Rooster Teeth community for about 6 years now. Like I've been around for quite a while, and I have friends now because of that in Australia, Canada, Britain, like scattered everywhere. So
I mean the world's becoming a smaller place, to borrow that awful Disney song. I'm not gonna sing it. Don't worry. I cannot afford to get sued by anybody, much less Disney.
But like, I don't know. It's one of those things that I think nowadays, like, it doesn't matter where you live. Like, you can grow up and have a family friend your whole life, but at the same time, you can make these connections now over the internet really easily and maintain those friendships and still have it being a meaningful friendship. I don't know, like. So it varies. Like, obviously, I have my close friends here that I've met since moving to Austin. I still have my best friend who lives in Colorado still, who I haven't seen in, like, 2 years. But, you know, whatever. Jerk. And
so then you were pretty quick to adopt the internet for the reasons of just networking.
I guess so. Like, I don't know. I don't really know what it was. I never used the internet for anything besides, like, homework. And, you know, I guess that was pre-Wikipedia. I don't know. Just Google things. Up until my freshman year of college, when like, because even then, like, I gamed online. Like, I started gaming online in Halo 2 days, but I didn't actually start using like websites until I used Facebook in 2005, my junior year. But even then, that you only talked to people who you knew, right? But it wasn't until
I mean, that's what it was originally for. Was just for your college.
Yeah, it wasn't until I met Jeff playing video games. So I actually I didn't know what Red vs. Blue was when I met Jeff. And it wasn't through him when I signed up for the website that I actually realized that there's like a whole internet culture for people to kind of hang out and interact. So that was actually entirely new to me when I joined the site. Like when I first joined in 2006, I had no idea. I had no idea what I was getting into, or that, you know, 7 years later, here I am.
I mean, you rarely ever do. You rarely ever do. And that's the most amazing part of it. I mean, it's much easier to look back on it and see how the road got there. But when you're in it, I mean, you can't see the forest for the trees.
Yeah, so it's like it's definitely cool, and I think I've embraced it because it's really cool to make the connections you can everywhere, and it's really neat that you can you could travel and like just go be like, hey, I'm gonna be in this town, and like people will be like, yeah, no, I'm in this town, let's hang out, let's grab lunch, stuff like that, and like I have something similar with the Ultimate community. Because like the Ultimate Frisbee community, because we're kind of a smaller community, you know, in the sports realm, you know, we're only a few 100,000. Which is a large number, but like when it comes down to it, like it's really easy to be like, hey, I'm traveling for this Ultimate tournament. Do you know anyone that could put me up? And complete strangers offer up their houses. And I feel it's like the same way, like with the RT community.
Well, I mean, the YouTube channel just hit 1 million a couple months ago. Yeah, 1 million subs. Is that right?
4 million.
God, I'm behind the times. Yeah, no, I mean when you got a community that strong, it's kind of hard not to throw a stone and hit somebody that doesn't know you.
Yeah, so it's definitely kind of cool though, like the whole internet community and like just seeing the friendships that formed out of it. I mean, like I look at I don't know if you're familiar with Trevor Horman.
Yeah.
Trevor's a great dude who ended up at RVBTO, I think 2 years ago. His first RVBTO, he ended up in a hotel room with me and a guy, Jeff, not Jeff Ramsey, different Jeff. I think it's Jeff on the site. And just by total chance ended up in our room. And it was his first RVBTO. I've been there, I think this is my second or third, Jeff's second or third. And met this guy by random. So this is another scenario where it's he's just totally staying with strangers. And he's one of my closest friends now. Great dude. And it's just such a cool community. And the fact that you can just do that. It blows my mind.
You all have the same similar interests. Real quick, go skim over your interests real quick. Your realm. I'm sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what the hell happened. I ended up going to edit it the day after, which it now is, and somehow the video portion just disappeared. So
look, let's be honest with them. The real reason for these technical difficulties is I'm a diva, and I had to change.
Right,
and that's
fair
really,
enough. Yeah,
he's trying to take the blame and be the good guy here, but the truth of the matter is that I'm a diva.
The first ending wasn't good enough for you.
Yeah.
We have to redo it.
So redo it.
Fair enough.
New shirt. Strip search. Yeah.
Nice.
It's
I like that.
Friend's shirt.
Your friend's shirt, was she's involved with the show?
Yeah, she actually is on the show, or was. I don't know what's going on with the filming. Amy T. Falcon. I don't actually know if that's how to pronounce her name. She'll kill me anyway. But yeah, no, she won the contest for the t-shirt design, so they actually made the shirt. So I bought it to support her.
That's amazing.
And Strip Shirt, for those who don't know, is the show that Penny Arcade is doing for artists and comic artists and stuff. It's really cool.
Kind of like the Gauntlet was for the gamers, just for web comics and things of that nature. I've seen a couple episodes of it. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
You should go check it out over there. So we were discussing your various interests with the community and stuff, and how that kind of was able to bring people together. And then I asked you about your interests.
Oh, so my interests. I think sports would probably be the number one interest for me. I love watching sports. Baseball, tennis. Tennis isn't that great, but I'll watch it anyway. Golf, football, hockey. You name the sport, I'll watch it. I love it. Even curling. I'll do it. I'll watch curling. I said it. Not just for the pants.
Yeah. No, trust me, I understand nerdy sports. I wrestled in high school, and I always thought basketball was just a waste of a gym court. And I'm from Augusta, Georgia, where the Masters is every year. So every year I have to break down and watch golf at least for that portion of the year. So, yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, so that's probably my main interest. I love it. Obviously, I root for all the Bay Area teams, like San Francisco 49ers and all that, and the San Francisco Giants. But aside from that, I do love movies. I love to go see pretty much any movie, you name it. Most particularly, I'd have to say animated. I love animated movies. Recently, I went and saw, oh my gosh, what was it? Rise of the Guardians.
That was the one with Santa Claus with the tattoos on his arm, right?
Santa Claus with the tattoos. It's done by DreamWorks. Has a great cast. A lot of talent.
I remember. I wanted to see the heck out of it, but time being what it is.
Yeah, no, and it's definitely worth a watch. But it's I love those animated movies. I love action. I love basically everything but horror movies. Horror movies, most of them aren't very good anyway. So
yeah. I kind of agree with you. It takes you right out of the picture when you can just see the special effects straight through.
Yeah.
And I agree. Animation is a great form. People give animation a lot of crap because they think it's for children. And I don't see why people... Well, to be fair, I do see why people think it's for children. It can be for children. But for the most part, I've always considered it an incredibly valid method of storytelling. I mean, really, at the heart of it, that's what Red versus Blue is.
What's Red versus Blue? I've never heard of it.
It's just computer-generated animation, but it tells a completely legitimate storyline that kind of is able to match up visual effects and audio effects in a way that live action just can't.
Yeah, no, so yeah, no, I totally agree. It's just, I think it's really underrated by a lot of adults. But granted, everyone does go through their too cool stage. I went through it myself where I didn't watch any animated.
Yeah.
So, I mean, some people's too cool stage is a little longer than others. So.
Fair enough. But is that it? I mean, do you do any tabletop gaming? Do you do anything else?
I enjoy Settlers. I'm not super into it. There's the Settlers following, oh my god, I love Settlers of Catan. It's the best game ever.
Yeah.
I'm not quite like that, but I do enjoy playing it. I play it on my Xbox sometimes too. Right now,
I was gonna say, have you seen the iPad version?
Oh, really? I haven't played that one,
Yep.
but that's something I should get. But like the only other games I really play, Monopoly Deal. I don't know if anyone's played that game. Card game form. Look at even extra unopened. I have like 3 decks of Monopoly Deal. Like, I'm not even joking. I have like 3 decks of this. Like, I love Monopoly Deal. Actually, when I lived in Boulder, so my last year of college there, I lived in my apartment complex. We weren't the most wealthy people. But we were all really friendly with each other and hang out and like we drink together. So we
Right.
had this thing where once a week we'd have classy night where we'd all put on like a tie and not even dress clothes, just a tie. We get together, we'd have wine and drink out of wine glasses and play Monopoly Deal, and like because it's the money is done in millions of dollars. So there's like a $10 million
Absolutely.
card. So it's like
Yeah,
it's
it's
like a classy night. We're really just poor people playing
Absolutely.
cards, but we feel classy.
Look, appearances are everything, man. And if you can make yourself feel like $1 million, then you're still gonna feel like $1 million.
So that's definitely a game I play. I play almost every night with my girlfriend. We play 1-on-1. Like we are so into the game that we play 1-on-1 Monopoly Deal. we don't even care. But great game. It's for the record though. It's like Monopoly in card game form,
Yeah.
and it only takes
Yeah.
15 minutes per round, like per game. It's not like 2 hours long.
Those tabletop card games can be really fun, like Munchkins and Cards Against Humanity and Apples to Apples and all those different ones. They can be really a lot of fun.
Yeah, Cards Against Humanity is another one I play a lot right now. I'll have people over on most Friday nights, and there'll be like 10, 15 of us, and we'll have a giant game of Cards Against Humanity. Like my buddy has all the expansion packs, all 3 I think they're at now, and we have this thing that if your card gets picked, you have to take a shot. So like winning, you have to take a shot, and it's just like
I like that. Drinking games, the drinking should be the reward, not the punishment.
Yeah. So our drink of choice is oh my gosh, I'm blinking. Fireball whiskey.
Nice.
So yeah, we have a ton of fun with that.
Nice. That I think that very much encompasses nerddom. I think hit the nail on the head. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is gonna take us to the ending portion of our show, where I've always enjoyed the inside the actor studio method of ending on a questionnaire, and so I too have reappropriated the Proust personality questionnaire, and it goes a little something like this. Caleb, what's your favorite word?
I like a lot of words. I guess snuggle. Snuggle would make sense for me, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good one. What's your least favorite word?
YOLO. I freaking hate YOLO.
Yeah. What hero or heroine do you identify with?
So people aren't gonna like this answer because it's like too godlike maybe, but Superman, but not because of his powers. Has nothing to do with his powers.
What villain or villainess do you identify with?
Man, I don't really think about villains. I mean, like even off the top of my head, like on the fly, I can't even think of like a lot of villains other than obviously Lex Luthor because I love Superman. But
well, they're not all just
Joker.
because you're bad guys doesn't mean they're bad guys.
Oh my gosh, great movie quote right there. Thank you. Another great animated movie.
What turns you on, either creatively, spiritually, emotionally?
Just being around people in general, I think just kind of just gets me going, gets me riled up, gets me excited. I just love communicating with everyone.
And what turns you off?
Probably people who think they're better than something. Like, like people will come over and like won't try something new. They're like, oh no, I don't want to do that. That doesn't seem cool. I mean, like that just totally, I don't like being around that.
Fair enough. What other talent, other than the ones that you are clearly gifted with, would you like to have?
I have talents.
Well,
Thank
okay.
you.
Looks may or may not be a talent. That's debatable.
No, probably singing because I can't sing to save my life, and I love to do it.
Carry a tune in the bucket. That whole thing.
Yeah.
What is your favorite curse word?
I'm really not big on cursing in general, but I think the current favorite, thanks to my little brother Jordan, is slut.
Nice. Yeah, I think we made that point excellently earlier. What sound or noise do you love?
I don't know. There's really no like sound specifically that I don't know. I associate positive. I mean, The closest thing I have is probably a text tone for the iPhone. It's like it's the horn one. It's like a default text tone, but it's just like it correlates to a lot of good memories, I guess.
Right. Oh, okay, you can't describe the sound and not give us an impersonation. Come on, just give us something.
I don't know. Like it goes like ba-da-doo, ba-da-doo, but like it's a horn. Like I just can't make that sound. I wish I could.
What sound or noise do you hate?
Well, I do hate the dentist, so just anything associated with that. Like I despise the dentist. It's a thing.
Whirring, grinding.
Let's not get into it. No, we're good. Moving on.
If you had a choice, how long would it take you to respawn after you died?
I mean, I wouldn't. Like, I firmly believe that, like, you're meant to die when you die. And, like, yes, there's tragedies, yes, there's accidents, but I mean, like, everyone has their time they're supposed to go. And I think at this point in my life, obviously there's things I want to do, like, you know, have a family, like go to Australia and visit there and check out that. There's a lot of things on my bucket list I want to do, but at the same time, I've done so many cool things. I've experienced so many so many wonderful things that if it's my time to go, it's my time to go. And I don't know.
You just count yourself very lucky that you've been able to do what you've done so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fair enough. That's absolutely fair enough and very commendable of you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was my last question. I want to thank my guests so very, very much for coming out today. Kayla, is there anything you'd like to plug before we go?
YouTube.com/Let's Play.
YouTube.com/brogaming. I'll do that one for you.
Well, /Caleb Denecour. We're not the brightest, so we didn't really plan that one through.
Right, but you know, search Bro Gaming, search Caleb Denecour, you can find him. I guarantee it. Ladies, if you want to pose more questions for Caleb, please do so down in the comments. I hope he'll answer them, and if not, I'll translate them over to him. We'll get him to answer them somehow.
I'll answer all the questions. Maybe.
You've been watching this on youtube.com/Tim Leftwich. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. And as always, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
I know, not only do you get shouted catchphrases at all the fucking time, but they have to get stuck in your own head.
Oh yeah, no.
And you have to even inadvertently.
I can go into detail about what is game night. That's probably the inside joke. That's just within like all of us, like the irony of it, because nobody really understands why Gavin says it.
Yeah. Fair enough. That works. Cool.
I ain't talking about that one.
Because I mean, you know, and we just broad strokes over the whole thing about how they sort of permeate into your actual life, even if you say them often enough in the Let's Play. Because I'm sure that's what happens, whether you mean it to or not. For Christ's sakes. Yeah, I mean that's what happened with YOLO. Ray kept saying YOLO in the freaking Let's Plays, and then before long, he just started saying YOLO.
Yeah.
Let's see. I not a fan, huh?
No. I hate YOLO so much.